Hello, hello, everyone. Thank you for joining Shop Talk Live. My name is Rick Ramirez. I'm also known as Rick's 2 Cents, along with my fellow co-host Steve from Steve Makes Everything.
Howdy, y'all.
Nikki from the Laser Chick.
Hello.
And Roger from Roger Shop.
Howdy, howdy.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I touch on something that as we start to do these lives, we start to get our regulars, right? We recognize names and we're starting to know your family and we're kind of accepting you guys and we're like, hey, but I guess I've been forgetting that as our lives start going on, we're getting more and more people who are first timers. So as we start to go down rabbit holes sometimes on a CNC, on a laser, on a 3D printer, just remember that these videos are not scripted and they're intentionally not scripted. Like sometimes we have a topic we'll bring up, but it's literally live, Shop Talk Live questions and answers for you guys to ask us any type of question that you have. And collectively, between all four of us, you got a lot of knowledge in one room that you probably rarely or ever be able to have. So if someone's talking about any particular topic, don't feel like you're throwing us off topic by asking a total different question. That's the whole idea of the live. So feel free to ask any type of question you have that you'd like about any equipment that you see us, and even if it's something we don't, then maybe that means we'll check it out. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, somebody did drop a bit of a snippy comment in my in my comment feed, complaining about exactly what we are, right? Like,
someone said to me,
"You guys need a script." It's like it's Shop Talk Live. It's just a bunch of people sitting around talking about stuff in the shop.
Exactly, right? Exactly. And
Hell,
someone
I don't even script my own videos.
I don't either anymore. I tried a couple of times, but
yeah, I don't script it. It's just live, and
I'll do like an outline.
Yep.
Of things I want, but I
bullet
won't
points so you don't forget them. Right.
I have a teleprompter right here, but I rarely use it.
Yeah,
it's good. It's the Elgato one, but it's too rigorous for me. I'm a little too freeform for that.
Yeah, so let us know where you're joining us live in the comments. Let us know when you're joining. Laser Chick, this is the second time she's joining our live, so thank you for joining us. So since you're working in the shop, we were talking before we went live. Do you want to give the spiel on this? If you don't already know, this is a new. I'll let her talk about it, but it's something new. It's the latest and greatest. You're probably gonna see more and more of it on YouTube. So go ahead. No audio. You're on mute. Yeah, you're muted. I can't unmute you either. It's your computer. All right, we'll be back to that.
There we go. I think I fixed it.
There
you go. All right.
I don't know what happened. All right. So I was saying, so I just recently got the Rotoboss Talon, and the Talon itself has been around for a while. However, Jason Rife with Rotoboss, he's got the pre-order going on, I believe, till October 15th for the Talon Pro. He has several rotaries for several machines. The Talon, I'm going to show you guys. Bear with me here. I'm going to show you guys it's a chuck style rotary. Super easy, super smooth. I do own both of the main rotaries that are talked about in the laser world. I do own a pie burn grip, and I do own this one. Both very viable rotaries. So it's just a personal preference when it comes to which one you want to use.
I thought it was like machine grade aircraft aluminum, polished, or ironized, whatever you want to call it.
Diamond
so it was
studded.
like, yeah,
that's way too technical for me. They're both red and black and red and gray and pretty, and
So they got snippy with me because I was like, looks cool, but like, what's the difference? You know what I mean? Right. They're like, dude, you got our stuff. Why are you talking smack? You know what I mean? And I'm just like, no, I'm really asking you a legit question. Like, what's so cool about it?
It's got a lot of parts. It looks complicated.
It's got a lot of parts.
It's really not complicated, though. That's the thing. It's so easy that, most people overthink it. So.
Yeah, let us know where you're joining us live, everyone. Let us know you're joining us live. It's always good. Oh, Steven said, "Where's the shirts? Where's Roger get
Well,
the shirts?"
my wife finds them and she picks them out and she says, "You need this." And she's got pretty good taste, and I like them. And we go to parties or whatnot. They're good conversation things. So yeah,
Okay,
I got
Roger.
quite the assortment of them in the closet.
So my wife the other day, she comes home with this shirt, and I says, "What the hell's this for?" And she says, "Mexico. Doesn't your friend wear those crazy shirts?" I'm like, "What, are you really serious? I'm not wearing this shirt." She's like, "Ricky said it looked cool." I'm like, "Well, I ain't wearing it." She was like, "Doesn't your friend wear those shirts all the time?" I was like, "Look, man, I'm not trying to look like a tourist in Mexico. I'm trying to look like a Mexican who belongs there."
Yeah. So that's the first tumbler. I'm running about 200 of these. I did about 175 of them last night. So
So let me ask you, like, just a short version, a high level or short question. What's the big advantage?
of what, the rotoboss or the
Yeah,
power?
yeah, yeah.
It's a smoother transition. It holds it better. A lot of people who have the pie
Lower your
burn
mic a little bit. Lower your mic.
can you lower
A
it?
little bit. Yeah. No. Just lower it down a little bit from your mouth.
Is that
There you
better?
go. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with the pie burn, it doesn't hold the cup quite good on the grip. You have to use the back stoppers, the
Right.
back wheels to hold it up. With this one, because it has the four, it grips it and it holds it level. I don't have a problem with anything, so it saves me time changing in and out cups. So
Okay.
that's really the biggest thing. The new pie burn or the new Rotoboss will work better with galvos due to the stepper motors.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
basically the short version.
Yeah. Phil said, what would be the best advice you'd give someone who's starting out in laser crafts, has several years experience with the machines and light burn software?
Well, if you're looking to sell, you need to find your market first. Find out what's selling in that area and whatever area you're in. That geographical areas, different things sell. I mean, it's weird. You think that, for example, signs would sell good in one place, but in others they won't. So you got to find out what the market is and what's selling in your particular area.
Yeah. Find your niche.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think too, you also have to determine: are you going to be a customer, a business to customer, or are you going to be a business to business? Because
Yep.
you really have to find which one's going to work better for you. Me personally, I like doing large quantity orders. I do the smaller orders, but when I take custom orders, I typically tend to do math orders.
And I would say that even though you found your niche, it's okay to have seasonal items, right? You're not going to sell Halloween stuff year round. You're not going to sell Christmas stuff year round, but don't miss the opportunity to sell those type themed items, right?
Yeah. Christmas especially, right? You catch people in a time of financial weakness, right? Like they're just ready to spend.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like this time of year, we do a lot of these, and I'm very successful with them. But here, at about 2 more weeks, I won't sell these again until probably next September.
Yeah. Right. And the other thing is that my whole thing is that building those seasonal items, like those jack-o'-lanterns. I sell those jack-o'-lanterns. Great. But to me, I need to find 3 or 4 seasonal items that will sell continuously every year. Because at some point in time, that top seller may just fell off and won't sell anymore at all. Like you've exhausted that item, right?
Yes.
So don't just have one goose egg. You're gonna have to have more than one.
And another thing I'll say too as well is like Christmas ornaments is one of them things that you really can sell year round. There's certain seasonal items, like you said, that they fade out, but Christmas ornaments are something they're small enough and affordable enough that people don't mind grabbing them year round to put up as gifts or other things.
Yeah, I would say first, like my baby's first Christmas, my baby's first birthday, my baby, like baby stuff,
Babies and pets.
Yes. You know, when you're driving down the highway and you see that lady with like "I love my cat" stickers all over her car, trust me, she has other cat stuff at home. You know, you could sell her more than just stickers.
Yes. April, if you don't get that rotary out of the box. Hey,
April,
Jason,
my
I see you're
rotary.
in here.
Jadon Place is stopping by to say hi and smash the thumbs up. Appreciate you, Jay. Appreciate you, Jay. If you guys don't remember, she's the one with the magnet fishing channel.
Yeah.
So I have a magnet of hers. I got to do some engraving on it. So when she does her kickoff, it's going to show her logo for it. Goes into the water. Be kind of cool.
What are you going to engrave it with?
Look at her logo.
I mean, which laser?
Oh, it's the 60 watt.
You sure it's going to engrave?
Yeah.
Have you tried it?
Yeah, because I'm not actually going to engrave the magnet. I'm going to engrave the case.
Oh, okay, okay.
Oh, okay. I was
the
with you
magnet
on that
might
one. I was trying to
explode.
figure out how you was going to engrave the magnet.
No, the magnet might explode, or who knows? Who knows what it would do?
Well, I don't. Yeah, it's probably ferrous, right? So it probably won't engrave anyway with a fiber laser.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure I'd want to even try.
You need this. You need one of these handy dandy UV lasers like I just got.
Right?
Because
that's one of my
they
favorite
don't burn.
lasers.
They don't make heat, right? Like, well, they make heat, but it's not the kind of heat that you'd get off of a fiber laser.
Exactly. I love my UV laser. What wattage did you get?
It's only a 5.
That's what I have. It's all you really need.
Yeah.
Hey, Mick, stay safe. I know where you guys about to get hit, so keep your family and yourself in our prayers, and hopefully everything works out all right. Hope you have flood insurance. Don't mean that in a negative way at all.
Yes.
So what's up? What's up, all? Has anyone heard when Lightburn Milmage? What is this?
Milmage. It's their CNC software.
It's supposed to come out.
I haven't. I'm in the beta group and I haven't heard when it's going to be released, but it's got to be close.
Hold on 1 second. My dehumidifier is going off. I'm gonna turn it off real quick.
I'm most interested in Milmage with the price, because all of the tools it competes with are in the hundreds of dollars range, or thousands if you're into something like Vector.
Yeah, that was way out of my lane. I don't know nothing about no CNC stuff.
Prices will greatly vary from city to city.
Yep.
That's right.
Sure.
If you guys don't know, that's Jason Rife. He's the owner of Rotoboss.
Uh-oh.
See now, so Jason, now that Rick has said all kinds of bad things,
No.
If you want a good review of your rotary, you can send me one.
I just said, when I saw the post, I said, "What's the difference?"
I'm just throwing you under the bus, you know.
And then I received a message on Facebook that said, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "I'm serious. What's the difference?" But there was no response. So my suggestion is go back and answer the question. Because it looks real fancy, for sure, 100%. But just what's the difference? It wasn't a low blow. It was an honest question.
And I'm looking at the Rotoboss website right now, and there's this Rotoboss Ascend. It's got that kind of Formula One complexity to it, right? High performance. It looks.
That's what I said, right?
Complex.
Aircraft aluminum, ionized. You know,
I mean,
powder coated.
It looks cool.
You know,
it looks
aesthetics
awesome.
mean something these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, here you go. Jason, open up, April. I'm here if you need anything. All right.
Well, there you go.
All right, Jason. Well, you have some very influential friends that are on this live, so if you need us to check it out for you, let us know. I'm just saying, it might be very easy to get a hold of us if you sent an email and supplied 3 or 4.
Oh, Lordy.
I don't know, it's like
I did not put them up to that,
250,000.
Jason.
It's like 250,000 subscriber base between, our normal lives. I'm just saying. Let's see.
Now he's on the spot. He can't say no, right? Because
Yeah.
everybody who's listening will be upset.
Now everyone's gonna be sending us messages. Hey Rick, when you guys getting those rotaries, dude? The review, let us know.
Yeah, well, they're still asking about the T-shirts, man.
I know.
I do have to send you my current logo though.
So I know Jason can explain the difference in the rotaries better than I can. So Jason, if you're still in here, if you don't mind throwing the difference in the rotaries up there for me. Oh, he said I can pass my rotary around.
Oh, look at this. Can I use a fiber laser for a tri-blend Stone Star leather that cuts patches?
Well, fiber lasers will do leather.
Yeah, so you stand the smell.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if you see this thing. That's the reason I made this. 3 fans in the front, 1 in the back. And lights for just the videos.
Nerd lighting.
Because it will smell.
Yeah, I'd say engraving leather is an acquired taste.
Yeah, you know what's funny is that, well, it's not funny actually, but even when I licked my lips for 2-3 days, I had like a nasty taste on my lips. Because maybe just being in the air and watching it.
Yeah, that's the taste of chromium, probably. The same stuff that was in the water in Aaron Brockovich.
Jason said, I answered a post like that. Well, if it was Ricardo Ramirez, that was me. That was on your newly, if you notice the laser on this guy, I guess they're going to be distributing them for you. They happen to be a good friend of ours, so I wasn't bashing anybody. Agreed. If they can't say what the difference is, there must not be one.
Oh, see, yeah, that's a crush.
Look at that, Jason. They're saying that we need to prove the difference. I'm just saying, Jason. You may have walked into that one.
And I'm sure that Jason would absolutely be happy to go live with you guys and explain the difference. Absolutely, I'm sure he would.
It would be awesome if he could come on and do a live demo of these things so that we can appreciate it.
Bring me a couch. That's a different live. If you see the black couch, you should probably leave the room.
Yeah. If it's somebody who says they're a Hollywood director, don't come.
We all need money, but not that bad. Mopo, maybe JTP tube filter.
I have a Mopo laser sitting on the floor in my shop, which you could have because it doesn't work.
Oh no!
Yeah.
It was a dead on arrival. It's a 60-watt comm marker B6, but it was dead.
Yeah, I got a Mopa on my right, and I got the J2, and then I got the 30-watt Reyes on my left.
I think my 60-watt Mopa is by far my favorite machine in my shop.
Damn, what did I walk into? see, our lives, we call it a happy hump day, right? Some people come for questions, and some people, they're just in the industry and it's come to shoot the shit. So there's a lot of knowledge in this in his comments as well.
Hey, did we forget to thank Stephen?
Oh, go ahead.
Thanks,
Steve.
Stephen.
Showing some love.
Making it rain. That's
Boston Trucker said, I live in Iowa. The winter's very cold here. Cold weather affects lasers. So do I have to store inside my house? Is it a CO2? I'm assuming it's a CO2.
I mean, any laser is going to require at least a 55-degree temperature, basically, to run properly.
Yeah.
Even the diode lasers, I keep my shop about 60 in the wintertime, and anything less than that, you don't have very predictable results. And with my 3D printers up here, I have to keep the temperature up here at least 70, or they don't work right. I don't get good bed adhesion or anything.
I would even say it may not even necessarily be the laser. It's the material, right?
No, it's the laser.
No, but what I'm saying, what I'm saying is that the material can act totally different, right? Moisture, condensation, temperature, all that makes, like, I know I do tons of cedar fence pickets, if I go buy 300 of them from Menards today and I go put it under a laser, versus I have 300 sitting in my basement for a month. When I pull that off, that thing's so dry, it's like cutting butter. You know, when it's all that moisture in it from being rained on for who knows how long.
Yeah, you live in the middle of the continent, though. It's probably pretty dry there compared to where I live.
Oh no, we get humidity big time here. I mean,
In
even
summer,
in the winter,
right?
we can get even in the winter, we can get some pretty humid times.
Yeah,
We get like tons of fog. We have fog here all the time in the winter.
The first year I moved to the coast, it was December and it was below freezing, and the humidity outside was still 99%. And I'm thinking, I took this in school. How the hell does this happen? Cold air can't hold that much water.
Watch out for the black couch, Jason. If they invite you, that's a different type of interview. He said diode laser.
Yeah, you'd still have to be something close to room temperature to make it run properly.
But I would say it's probably going to be your easiest laser as far as adjusting to temperature.
Well, it's not. So if it freezes, nothing bad's going to happen.
Right.
But to operate it, you need it to be close to room temperature.
But I would also go as
by
far
contrast, if a CO2 laser freezes, you're probably hunting for a new tube.
Right, but
unless you've got antifreeze in it.
Yeah, from extreme cold to warm, you may fog your lenses, right? So just maybe give it a second to warm up if all of a sudden you're heating your shop up.
Yeah.
When you have glasses on, you walk into a warm room and your glasses are like, woo. You take them off, wipe them off.
If the beam hits that first mirror and it's got a little fog on it, the fog is going to be gone pretty quick.
Yeah. I'm just saying, it might be not a bad idea. Just give it a few minutes to warm up.
Yeah, well, yes. Well, because you'll probably have thermal shock more than anything.
Makes sense. Cold material have a tougher time being worked by a laser.
I've never really noticed.
Yeah, me neither.
Makes sense, but
I mean, I've never really put frozen material in my laser to like test it out. I mean, I have seen people freeze Reese's and engrave the top of them.
Chris said he keeps material tests for winter and summer because of the difference in the material. So
I'm now tempted to see if I can engrave an ice cube. Have to be quick.
Right? Real quick.
You got brave with the rice. I don't know about the ice.
Well, see, engraving the rice wasn't the big deal. Engraving the rice with a CO2 laser, that was it. That was the impressive thing.
Too funny.
So I wanted to try a corn kernel and see if it would actually engrave or if it would pop.
So have you tried it yet?
I have not, because I've been so busy, but it's on my list.
I don't think it would pop. Unless you had
long enough.
Well, if the laser was really out of focus, you might get the kernel hot enough, because it pops because the skin gets superheated, right?
Right.
Or the inside gets heated and the outside isn't quite as hot, and then it'll.
All right, share the finished product. Let's see it. A little closer.
Sweet.
Super clean.
That is like really clean, actually. You see people all the time, they're like, this is how you do tumblers, and then they're using Awesome and all kinds of stuff to clean all the crap off.
I literally one wipe with Awesome Cleaner, that's it, because I don't use an air assist when I'm doing tumblers.
Why not?
Because it throws dust everywhere, and since I leave the lid open for quick change out, it's just easier for me to wipe it off than it is to have to clean up and breathe all the dust in.
Oh, okay.
But like with these tumblers, it's a one-sided logo. My next investment will be a CO2 Galvo. So I don't have to use my Mirror 9 so much for tumblers anymore, and I can speed up this process because I'm running these at about 1.5 minutes a piece.
That's badass.
On my Mirror 9, but if I was doing them on a CO2 Galvo, I could probably do them in about 30 seconds.
So I know you're like an Eon champion, and I'm sorry.
No, I'm not. I do love my Eon Mirror 9. However, I'm no longer an affiliate with them.
Yeah.
But I started, like I said before, I started with a Glowforge. So when I upgraded from a Glowforge to a Mirror 9, that went from Pinto to Cadillac.
Yeah. So I do a lot of engraving cutting boards. What do you recommend to clean them after engraving?
I
Featured
actually did one.
alcohol?
I actually did one today. You can use alcohol. I just used a microfiber cloth and it cleaned it right off.
And if it's like you did a deep engrave and it's got a little stuff on it, you can always sand it.
Yeah, as long as it's not any kind of plywood. If it's a proper
Yeah.
cutting board.
So I
Yeah.
would say this: if you made the cutting board, then you want to use water. And the only reason I'm saying you want to use water is because you're going to make it fuzz. And then once it fuzzes, sand it one more time so that when they wash it, it never fuzzes. But if you bought the cutting board, chances are they already did that before they sold it to you. That's the only thing I'm going to say is different.
Well, it depends. If you bought a cutting board, unless it's a high-end one like a Booz or something, it's probably bamboo, and bamboo doesn't get fuzzy like that.
Yeah.
I just use compressed air when I'm doing a cutting board or a sign. I know I clean. I just hit it with the air hose because I got a compressor in the shop, so it's easy.
Yeah, I tend to do engraving last, so the board is finished, and then I just engrave something on it. So all the fuzzing, all that stuff is already done, and quite often I'll even have oil on the board, so you won't get any dust that sticks around. So
I'm going to attempt not to butcher this name, so I'm going to skip it. It says, why don't you use the fiber laser? So I'm assuming that he's meaning use the fiber laser for the cups versus the CO2 laser. So why is it?
So fiber lasers are not ideal for tumblers. Tumblers have an insulated thermal seal, and fiber lasers actually can engrave into the metal, whereas the CO2 is not hurting the metal, it's just removing the powder coating. So also, the fiber laser is not going to be near as fast as the CO2 laser doing tumblers.
So if you were saying you were going to compare a CO2 versus fiber as far as time, what do you think the difference would be?
If I use and Lightburn, if I use the I just lost it. What is the
That feature you always say to turn off, Steve. It makes it smarter when it does it.
Offset fill, that thing?
No, it's the cylinder correction. There you go.
Oh yes, okay.
Okay, if you use cylinder correction, it would probably still do it in about maybe 2 to 3 minutes. But again, and you'll see, Jason just commented, it's horrible for stainless steel because it can also once you scratch that surface, you're more than likely going to end up with rust.
Yeah, because it's not really fully stainless steel, right?
Look, Brad, I don't want to hear your words over there. Now stop it, Brad.
The nice thing about CO2 is it won't touch the stainless steel, so you can hit it as hard as you want. It's just going to burn the paint off the outside, and then it'll stop.
Chris said just make whatever it is, make sure it's food safe for cutting boards, 100%.
Yeah. I tend not to engrave the surface of a cutting board unless it's like a memento kind of thing, like the one I did today.
I usually do the backside. The big thing I do is the kitchen equivalents and put it on the backside, and then the realtor's logo and his phone number, name, and all that.
Yeah, that's
All right, Roger, what do you got, Roger?
You're buying cutting boards then, right?
Yeah, well, we're using bamboo.
Yeah.
The ones you get at Dollar Tree.
If I make a cutting board, the thing is going to be 1.5 inches thick anyway, almost 2 inches. So I can engrave actually on the side of the board, which is typically what I do. I'll put my logo or something on there.
There you go.
Thanks, Brad. So if you guys don't know BZ Rad, he's the operations director for Hey Ocean Lasers in Michigan.
All right.
He's the operations director for the U.S. So if you have any questions or anything about Hey Ocean Lasers, that's our U.S. point of contact right there.
Nice one.
Sweet. Feel free to reach out.
Yep. UV is best for bamboo. Honestly, I use my dial laser on my cutting boards.
So
I do too, because I don't have a UV.
I'm doing a video right now. It's actually about design, not the actual board, but I did CO2 on one side and the same image in diode with a diode laser on the other side, just to see what the difference is. And now that I actually have a UV laser, I'll try a UV laser on it to see what that looks like.
I love UV on wood. It does take a little more time, but you get such, and you don't get the depth, but you can get the depth too, but you don't have to do depth to get darkness.
Yeah, this is my first UV. And like I said, it's only 5 watts, but like when I worked in industrial UV lasers, they tend to be in the 400 to 500 watt range. So you can engrave a cinder block if you want.
So this was engraved with my UV. And this is just birch plywood.
I just always thought that I would use a UV for glass, plastics. Never in my wildest dreams was I thinking to use ever a UV laser on wood.
A UV laser can engrave pretty much anything.
I know.
Yeah.
I know, but what I'm saying,
it's a different kind of engraving, right? So
right.
if you hit a piece of wood with a diode laser, you'll actually feel the thing engraved, right? You can run your finger over it and feel it. With a UV laser, it will be engraved permanently and it will be on the surface.
The only thing that I would say though is that
you don't get that burn effect that you get with a diode or a CO2 laser.
Right, it's more of an etched. But what I would say is that with a UV laser, it's a fixed lens, so it's not moving. So sometimes a direct underneath and something to the side, they're not the same. Like the same thing with lasers when they buy these jigs and they're doing like 20 or something. The edges never look identical to the center.
Depends. So that's a function of how good the optics are.
Yes.
Right. If they have really good, like true optical quality optics, you won't get that. You won't get that issue. At least not that you're going to see. But the typical, your typical fiber laser probably has a pretty cheap lens in it. It's probably a factory lens rather than hand rubbed into to perfection.
So I've been asking for a 100-watt UV laser, and I got 5 different videos they probably want me to make to get one. So we'll see. Glass, plastic is a UV bread and butter. Yeah, see, that's what I was saying. Yeah. I have 1,000 of pics and photos of UV.
Yeah, he is a UV expert. If you need help with UV laser, that's the one to reach out to.
Jigs are best suited for gantry-based machines. So I know we've been talking about a giveaway, and we do have a giveaway coming up next month. I don't have the date yet. I should have hopefully the date this week. But since Steve, you kind of headed this up, do you want to maybe give a sneak idea of what it is? I don't think
a sneak idea, or do you just want me to come out and
say it, and then I'll share my screen.
So as a result of I guess all of us now having looked at the Longer Nano, I talked to Nano. I talked to Longer about the potential of giving one away, so they said yes. So we're going to give a brand new one away. You won't get one of our offcasts, and we'll do a draw on that over. It's probably going to be. I don't know, it's probably going to be like a 3-week or 4-week promotional thing, just to kind of amp up our channels and get the word out and
one of the I'll do a live shoot of actually making something on the Nano and kind of see how it operates and what it's like.
And they're actually going to join us live, so not only are we giving it away, but you'll have the opportunity to have any type of questions and answers you have about it.
Yeah.
So they'll have 2 special guests, and just if you're asking, they do speak English. Matter of fact, they're even going to have someone who speaks Spanish. So, yeah.
Cool.
No 100-watt available.
Yeah, that's coming up. I don't know if, Biz, if this was a comment, response to the comment I made about working with high power UV lasers. I worked in industrial lasers for 10 years, designing and building
I
industrial
was gonna
lasers.
say I've seen them 300 advertised for purchase.
Yeah, I worked. The UV lasers I worked on tended to have, they were gas lasers, so you had a bottle of neon and a bottle of HCl or fluorine or something, filling up a vessel and shooting 40,000 volts into it at almost an amp. So they put out power. Hey, V's here.
Hey V. And just because what sells stateside versus what you can get overseas,
yeah,
it's a whole different ballgame.
the beam size on the lasers I worked on were about 2.5 inches wide and an inch tall.
Just because you can't buy it on Amazon doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Oh, it exists. Longer now. Look at Clayton. Clayton's like, that is mine. But they say, speak it into existence, Clayton. Speak it into existence.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a nice little laser. It's it's definitely more of an engraving laser than a cutting laser. But if you're in that business where maybe you're going to a craft fair or something and you just want to punch out a quick engraving on something for someone, it's perfect for that kind of thing.
V said, Mickery, whereabouts are you in Florida and how is it? I messaged my sister and she hasn't replied. She lives near Sanford. Oof.
Yeah,
well, my brother-in-law lives just outside of Ocala, and they're right in the bullseye of it.
Hopefully everybody who lives or has family in Florida is everybody's safe.
So during the COVID time, a lot of my coworkers, they booked out to different states because they were kind of not expecting to ever have to come back. And when they brought us back, some people quit, but some people their services were required, so they were given an exception to be permanently remote. So there's a good amount of people who are in Florida that are crazy. One of the guys that I work with said that they withdrew their kids from school, and I was wondering, like, how does that work? And they're going to another state with their mother-in-law because it may be if their house gets destroyed a couple of months, they can come back, right? And he doesn't want to leave his house, so he's staying. I'm like, damn.
See, like I listened to the police chief or the mayor of some town where it's going to make landfall. And the guy said, if you're in the evacuation zone when this thing hits, you're going to die. It wasn't like you might die, you might have some trouble, you're going to die. Yeah. And I thought, like, why the hell would anybody want to stay?
He literally said in the live, this may be the last time he talked to me. And I was like, why?
And even when the last one went through there a couple of weeks ago, when some police chief said, if you're going to stay, it would be helpful if you write your
that one.
Your identification on some part of your body, so when we find the body, we'll know who it was.
Right?
Like, yeah, screw that.
Yeah.
When I moved here to the coast, about 2 months after I moved, not even 2 months, about 3 weeks after I moved here, we got hit with Hurricane Dorian, and I still have the image. The eye path literally crossed the end of my street, and it was a cat. Well, it was still Cat 4 when it hit, but it very quickly degraded to a Cat 3. It was quite an interesting experience for a first timer in a hurricane.
So I want to show you guys something that's cool about this as we're talking about this nano. There's different versions of it, right? But one of the cool things is that it comes with that side extension, and the rotary. So, and there's
this is a variation of the Pro package.
Right. So, so my whole thing is, hold on, I'm sorry, I knocked my light over. We're always very honest. We're not an infomercial. We're not misleading in anyone, any sort, shape, or form. What I would say is that laser going to replace one of these lasers behind me? No. But am I ever going to bring one of these to a trade show? No. It's just not going to happen. So like, first off, if you're just trying to like test the market, you may not want to have 50 of something made and hopefully it sells, right? So you could have blanks and then be able to do it, right? Or let's just say you do have blanks and you're making something, whatever, on that laser, you will draw a crowd because, you know, Roger could be next door to me and he has all kinds of badass stuff, but no one's even walking his booth and looking at it. But because I'm running the laser, they could walk up to me. He never even got a chance, the exposure. So that laser running could really just draw a crowd if you're doing these trade shows.
Yeah, a running laser in your booth is literally the shiny light, right? Like,
yeah.
So I have a good friend of mine. I don't know if you guys follow him. He's Nick the Laser Nerd. He just built an entire enclosure for his CO2 Galvo, and it's fancy. If you guys don't follow him, you should, because he takes his CO2 Galvo machine to trade shows. That's what he does. And I know they have compact fibers as well that people take to trade shows. It's like an all-in-one versus the two separate entities, the power source and the
like a comm marker
power.
B4 you could conceivably take, but you'd have to put it in a box.
Yes.
Clayton said slide extension. Oh, Clayton earlier said something that we always give Steve a hard time on, because the one thing Steve does not like is coasters.
It's not that I don't like them. I love coasters. I just don't think there's a lot of money in them if you're making a set of 4 for every household in the world.
That's where the B2B comes in real handy.
Yeah.
Hey, Nancy.
Yeah, I mean, if you're making coasters for a bar like Roger has done, you're going to make money because they're not going to complain about the price, right?
Take a look at that. Hello. If you message us, we can send us your address.
Well, for me,
what file is best for laser engraving? PNG, SVG. What is best? For me, it's SVG.
I agree.
Yeah, if you're engraving a photo of something, it's going to be a PNG, but
it's going to be a bitmap image.
Yeah. But if you take something that has like distinguishable lines or any kind of geometric shapes on it, you're going to use SVG for that.
Especially if you want to resize it without it getting wonky.
Yeah.
But again, if it's just big, black, bulky stuff like a coloring book type design, Lightburn Trace Tool works so awesome that I don't think I'd really argue with it. Now, like Steve said, if you're doing a photo or something kind of grade scale, a picture type thing, that's a whole different ballgame, right?
Yeah.
Versus black lines or cutouts. Hey, I wasn't laughing. You need to send it already. Didn't you see all the comments? They were saying, what's the difference? You got to show it. Any vector file.
Yep.
Yeah. Any vector file is a good rule, but a lot of software doesn't support any of the weird vector files like Corel, or there's some will, like if you're using Epilogue software, it'll support CDR files. In fact, I think that's the only vector format it supports.
I think the only vector format that I really despise is DXF.
Yeah, I don't use DXF when I can avoid it, which is almost always.
Yes.
Wouldn't you use that for embroidery? That'd be the only time you'd want to use that?
You would be surprised if you buy Etsy files. A lot of people will include those with they'll include multiple file formats with their files, and DXF, and people upload it into their software, and DXF will have all of these minute lines and pieces, and it'll scatter and resize itself, and it's disastrous. I have no idea who brought that into the laser industry.
Yeah, it's really a drafting format.
Thanks,
I've
Jack.
pulled files out of CAD and DXF and brought them into, like even into Lightburn, and I just converted it to SVG.
I think
that's
think
what you'd
that's
have
just
to do.
I think that's just the Etsy gimmick. They're going file in a Photoshop export, and they're choosing every format. So on their
Yeah.
listing, it says PNG, SVG.
Yeah, I
blah.
have some listings that have all
Right.
of those file formats, but now I just use SVGs
Right. Look, it
because
looks like you have
everything supports them.
a fellow Canadian. Greetings from Canada.
Hey, Tico.
You guys are doing awesome work.
Whereabouts in Canada? It's a big place.
Nancy said, "Me too. DXF is too wonky."
Yeah, it leaves open shapes all the time. It's just not good.
Just need to make sure whatever it is, the vector is flattened.
Yeah.
Unless you're doing a 3D map, then you don't want it to be flattened.
Well, you can still flatten each layer.
Yeah. Yeah, if you have it like
Yeah.
There's Tico.
He keeps coming up on my Facebook as you might know this person.
He's very smart when it comes to galvo lasers, and he has some of the Haoshin CO2 gantry style lasers as well.
Yeah, I have never seen Steve or Roger on my Facebook, but all you guys keep coming up.
I don't use Facebook very often. I'm a terrible social media person. I'm more anti-social media.
My Facebook is strictly, family oriented, and there's no part of the business in it whatsoever.
Just the black couch.
Yeah, I did create a page off of my my personal Facebook page for my company, but I don't generally. I'll post a link to the newest videos there every now and again, but I don't really interact with Facebook very often.
So I tried to do that. So I have, if you go to Facebook and you type in Rick's 2 cents, that comes up. But I can't post on Facebook groups with Rick's 2 cents.
Right. Yeah.
So I post with my own name, and then I get a ton of friend requests. And sometimes I'll just send them the link to Rick's 2 cents. But then I also feel obligated in certain ways when like a manufacturer is going to send me something like that, and I'm like, they friend request me. I'm like, you just sent me somewhere $5,000. I'm not going to accept your friend request.
So I created a separate personal profile for the Laser Chick as well as a business page for the Laser Chick. And then I have my own personal page as well that, to be honest, I hardly ever touch because I'm so busy with the laser stuff. But so I just created a personal new profile for the Laser Chick.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like, how many damn Facebook accounts do you need,
A ton, apparently.
Yeah. Hello from Minnesota. Thank you for always willing to teach. Hey, Deb, good to see you.
This your first time here?
From Facebook.
Yeah, we're getting lots of people from Facebook.
Yeah. Facebook. I was getting some questions. It looked like Clack Shack from watching our lives. He switched to StreamYard.
Yeah, I noticed.
Using whatever that bootleg software they were using.
I was going to suggest you. I was going to suggest you talk to him about sharing, because one of the comments he made was he can't figure out how to share all these comments from all the.
I was telling him when I unlike you guys, I joined their lives.
Well, I watch it later. I just can't watch it when it's live because it's Sunday night. And
I'm normally just sitting down watching TV or something. I just click it on. But I was kind of telling him, giving pointers.
Markham, been there numerous times. I work for a little company called IBM.
A little company.
They had an office there.
Chris said, "I wish rotary manufacturers would include the pinout list for common lasers to make adapters."
Yes.
Well, I think the biggest problem with that is not all rotaries, their stepper motors are compatible with every machine. So they do have pinouts for the machines that their rotaries are compatible with.
Okay. Yeah, but I agree. Look,
and Jason might can answer that a little better.
Yeah, we actually have some very qualified people in this question that should be able to answer that question.
Yeah.
Sawdust and Splinters. I don't know if you guys are familiar with her channel, but she'll be joining us on a future live. We're going to do a test run to make sure she's up and running with StreamYard. She's never used it before, so we just want to make sure she
Well,
knows it.
And I'll point this out, Rick, because I got the new WeCreate Vision. WeCreate sent it to me. I had no idea they were sending it. It showed up in my yard one day, and I was like, oh hey, okay. And I actually am fairly impressed with it. It's a 20-watt diode, and it's the one that the whole machine moves up and down.
Yeah.
And so my Rotoboss rotary, the pin connection for it will actually fit into the WeCreate. It's the same connection. However, the Rotoboss will not work with
Different
the WeCreate.
pinout. Different pinout. The only problem you'll run into with stepper motors is some of them, like these Rotoboss ones, look like they're using NEMA 23 stepper motors, and most of the low-end lasers use NEMA 17 motors, which are smaller, lower current. So you wouldn't be able to drive one of these from your basic $99 laser typically.
Or without an external power supply, probably.
Well, the driver,
you need a
chip.
bigger stepper driver too.
Yeah, the driver chip on the motherboard won't handle it.
So that's the one issue. The other issue is, even if the connector is the same, the pinout could be different on the connector, which is likely going to be.
Yeah, so the gender may be the same, but the wiring configuration doesn't mean.
Yeah,
because it fits.
Yeah, I mean, they're just aircraft plugs, right? They're just aircraft connectors, and they're, I don't know, I think the one on the WeCreate's a 4-pin.
Yes.
It might be 5.
Chris
4.
said, when you have,
I actually think it's a 6-pin.
Chris said, when you have an idea for a new product, do you have other places to be on social media or Etsy to research market saturation?
Go to a craft show in your area.
Yep. Go to a craft show. Take some advice from Andy, who couldn't show up tonight because he's traveling. Check places like Wayfair, any of those kind of places. IKEA, their home accessories department, if you can meander through the store to find it.
Yeah. And ask your family and friends, because they'll be brutal honest with you and tell you it sucks. But the same token, just remember this: just because you think it sucks, just because your wife thinks it sucks, doesn't mean customers won't think it's cool. Like, it's your personal taste. That doesn't mean that that's not what somebody else likes. So there's a fine line sometimes.
And in your defense of my hatred for coasters, people love coasters. The problem is, I'm not going to work for 2 cents an hour to make them.
Yes, Tico, I'm doing cups again. Still, I'm almost done though.
Cups. My food friend Ed Gomes used to work for IBM. Not sure if you know him. Ed Gomes.
I do not. I've been gone from IBM for 6 years now, almost 7.
Beam me up said so
really
many great crafters in one chat.
Yeah, we actually got quite a few VIPs in the chat here tonight.
Yeah. I'm surprised Clack isn't talking since I was.
Actually, if Clack was on, I have a question for him. So, Clack.
Nancy said I'm going to need someone near Miami area willing to do a laser house call. I haven't been able to get them. Still, you haven't been able to get to Mirrors Align for the Mindport 90. At this point, I'm about to pay. Nancy, all that I'm saying is that whenever you're inviting anyone to your home,
I mentioned that I did a video in my DIY laser series. I did an alignment video, and all of these lasers, they all have a 3-mirror configuration. Check that out. Oh, Clack is here. Okay. Clack, I noticed you were using Fusion the other day in your crutch video, and hopefully your knee is fine now. Do you have the commercial version, or are you using the free version? That was my question.
Tico's from South Francisco, California.
San Francisco. Paid. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought.
Sawdust and Splinters from Maine.
I just hate the annual renewal fee, which I'm now faced with by the end of this month. So,
Which is
I don't know. I don't know what it is. U.S. dollars. It's probably about $4.95 or something.
yeah.
Yeah, it's substantial. And I wanted, if Clive was using the free one, I wanted to find out if he found anything it can't do. I mean, I have some pretty big assemblies, so I don't think I can use the free one. But
Rotoboss said wiring is different on all of them for the most part, and to publish something like that would be very complex.
yep,
I think if you just said like this is your positive, your negative, your ground, like the common, and you let somebody else figure it out, that might be helpful.
Well, the way a stepper motor works, if somebody doesn't know, is you've got basically one negative and you've got two positives, and each positive will run that motor in a different direction. So the driver from the motherboard switches that polarity to run that stepper motor either forwards or backwards. And the other thing is the number of steps that each stepper motor has is a lot of times determined by the driver. So it could be it could get complex.
Beat Me Up Laser said Sawdust makes the best boxes. We were actually talking before we went live, and I said, not that she doesn't make good boxes, but she's probably the best inlays I've ever seen. So she does.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed with her inlays. I'm not, like I said, I'm not discrediting the boxes. I've seen plenty of boxes, but I haven't seen plenty of anyone doing inlays like she does at all.
Yeah, I see Corby's on tonight. Corby asked me to do a Godzilla in the background. I did that one last week, and Corby didn't show up. So this one is a new one. This is some monster eating a city. I feel like putting it on a T-shirt because that's how I feel most of the time.
Look at Nancy. Someone's answered your question. Rotoboss said they'll be doing a trip hopefully in November. Maybe you can link up. Again, if we're suggest anyone to meet outside of our live, that's at your own risk. We don't know these people personally. The first thing I look at a stepper is it 17 or 23?
Yeah.
Okay, Chris, I have to ask. So what do you want? Do you want the 17 or do you want the 23?
23's got more kick.
I know, but it depends what you're using, right?
Well, yeah. If you're using, a longer Ray 5, it's not going to be a NEMA 23, right? It's going to be a 17.
We have a dual motor mount to mount both.
Ah, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So thank you, Beat Me Up Laser. Hello. As long as it runs on Lightburn, EasyCAD, already works, we have a solution for you. Okay. We're gonna have to take you up on this. Wink. Wink. Send all your file, your product info, and all specifications, and rights. Handle it. Huh? I know what's happening. Because your wife thinks it sucks. I'm just saying, it's the truth. Steve and I had this talk one day. Steve said his wife was taking Sibler, and I said, I don't feel bad because most of the time I was like, who'd want that?
My wife generally avoids my shop.
Then I sell $2,000 worth of it, and I'm like,
every time the UPS guy pulls into my driveway, which is almost every day, she just rolls her eyes.
Oh, make with the customers right now what you want. Exactly.
That's quite true.
Yeah. Actually, October, November are renewal months for almost everything. It hurts my wallet.
Yeah, it's Lightburn update month too, I think.
I actually don't use a rotary. It's for people I help. Nice. Hey, how's it going, Gordon? I haven't seen you in a while. More people from Canada in the building today. Watch out, Steve.
We're slowly taking over the world. About 300 more years, and people will know who we are.
Everyone thinks you guys are still like all Eskimos. Everywhere in Canada, it snows 20 feet.
I don't know anywhere in Canada where it snows 20 feet. Well, Whistler, in the ski region, yeah.
It's the assumptions. All but Ascend Pro can accept a NEMA 17 or 23. Okay.
Well, that was the one I was going to buy.
Which one?
Well, you might want to rethink that one.
Yeah, the Ascend Pro.
That's what you were going to buy? Are you serious?
No, I don't know. I have to go look at them.
Someone was
I'd
asking.
like it to fit. I'd actually like to get one for my own DIY laser because I just normally steal like an RE2 Pro or something to stick in there when I need it.
Corey said someone's asking how to test their products. So I said send it and I'll take care of it. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, be careful, Corby. That's a curse because they keep sending them.
Yeah. My wife.
Trust me.
But before I had this house, before I had kids, I had like a badass man house, like the man cave house with the air hockey table, the pool table, darts, super expensive saltwater fish tank. It was the house, the neon lights. And about half of my basement is boxes of all that stuff never unpacked since 13 years. My wife's like, Rick, it's time you sell it. Just let it go.
Yeah.
And just sell it. She's like, you have all this stuff. You want to make the shop bigger? I'm like, man.
We try to go through a regular cleanse of things.
I just accepting defeat, man. Like, those things are so cool. I keep saying I'll set it up, but
But the problem is if you've got 13-year-old stuff taking up space in your house, you can't get new stuff.
Yeah.
So
I guess it's time to accept I'll never have a man cave again. I'll have a workshop, so maybe I'll start selling my stuff off. Clack says the knee has improved, Steve, but they're saying no driving for 4 weeks, stuck at home in the shop.
Oh, there's worse places to be stuck, I guess.
You need to just get a cane and just drive with the cane.
Well, it depends which leg it is. If it's the right leg, well, worse if it's the left leg and you have a manual transmission, it's going to be painful to shift that clutch with a bad knee.
Yeah. But you got friends who are boys in blue, so if they pull you over because you're driving weird,
yeah, they'll look the other way.
Flack. Nancy said, "Rotor Boss rotary attachments. I'll let you know. I'll let you know how to reach me. All right, so she'll reach out to you." Chris said, "I have a rule. If it's an unboxing, or if it's unboxed for 2 to 3 years, I don't need it. I don't keep it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I now have lasers sitting in boxes for 3 years that I need to find a place for. But who wants a 5-watt laser these days, right? Like, it's just not cool.
I'm give them away.
I do.
Yeah.
But you can only. I just saw Chris's comment here. We don't have kangaroos here.
So anybody have any questions? Let us know. Obviously, you have rotary questions. Probably today's the day to answer those questions.
Yeah.
We have quite a bit of support in the chat. So let us know.
Yeah, now would be the time to ask rotary questions. For real.
Yeah. We have rotary celebrities on the chat tonight.
Corby said he wants a 5-watt laser.
Well, Corby, all you got to do is hitchhike your way to the East Coast. Bring your passport because you'll have to cross the border. You can just sling it over your shoulder and take it home.
Chris said no kangaroos, but the same sense of humor.
I don't know.
Hey, what's up with your? Hey, dude, do you please tell me you don't have the Empire State Building blowing up in your background?
No, it's some
Okay,
monster.
okay. Yeah.
I just, well,
I know you don't be America, but hey,
I get
man,
tired.
come
I
on.
got tired of the beach, so I thought, for the live streams, I'll generate a picture every week now. And
I was like, oh man, we're gonna get hate mail.
it's some anonymous city. I don't recognize any of the buildings.
It's an alien invasion. All right, I'll be in Canada in 20 minutes.
Wow.
Yes. I think he drives a truck, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, but he lives on the West Coast, so he can go to Vancouver in 20 minutes, and then it's a 5-hour flight to my house. So
I'm waiting for the. What is that? Pre-burn?
Pyburn.
The Pyburn 5. So are you looking for the roller rotary, or are you looking for the grip? Because they just released the new grip, but I don't know when the Pyburn 5 is supposed to come out.
Oh, Corby's in Michigan. I thought you were on the West Coast.
Well, when they send it to us, we'll let you guys know.
Yeah, I'll throw it across the border.
Oh, crazy times right now. So Halloween's coming to an end, but don't forget Day of the Dead, man. And not only Mexicans just don't celebrate Day of the Dead. A lot of people get geeky into that stuff too.
I will be in Mexico for Day of the Dead.
That's awesome. So I went one year, and my daughter was so freaked out by like the parades and everything.
Oh.
And so she called it the ha-ha. I'm scared of the ha-has. I'm like, what do you mean ha-ha? The mask. They're like, ha, like the big crazy looking faces. So she made up ha-has. It was from the mask, But that was an experience. That was pretty wild, man.
And there's a mistaken belief that a lot of people think Day of the Dead in Mexico is the same as Halloween here, and it is not. No. Well, Rick could probably explain better because he's native, sort of, about what Day of the Dead actually is. But it's they respect those who have passed.
Yep.
Oh, look who's in the live.
Oh, okay. Pascal. So every single one of our lives, this gray guy on it's always weird. This one. That's his laser, guys.
Hey, Pascal.
And that's his rotary we're talking about that he made a deal with to come with them and distribute them. And I told him to join our lives, but I appreciate at least dropping in.
Yeah, it must be. Did somebody send out a special invite to celebrities?
He's on both of our Facebook.
I posted it to my profile as well.
Cool.
So I've been asking him. So I'll be very honest. And he said the only reason he won't come on live with us is because his English is not very fluent.
Yeah.
So he's much more comfortable chatting through text because he could take his time to reply.
Yeah, he usually likes to have a representative there, somebody who can translate.
That's what he told me. I was like, come on. But I get it. If you're trying to represent a company, you want to, make sure you present yourself correctly. So I get it. But he's definitely an awesome guy, very knowledgeable,
super helpful too.
Yes. I think they ship in November. So Nancy, what are you using it on? Since I know you got the mom port, but what are you using it on? And just so you see, in every single one of our lives, your laser's in the background.
I'll just point out that his laser's not in the back here.
Every single one of the lives, by the way, your laser's in the background.
Yeah, I've been rebuilding a good chunk of my workshop to make some more space, so I'll be able to do live from there.
Nice.
And so things like unboxings and stuff I can do, or projects.
So Roger, you got any new upcoming 3D projects?
No, nothing new. Just still making the same old everyday laser mounts and accessories, and getting them cranked out and shipped, and found out it was very expensive to send a set of them to Canada. So $10 set of laser feed is $20 to send to Canada.
Anyone who's been alive this long, thank you. We appreciate your support, but don't forget to smash that like button and feel free to share this live as well. And if you have any questions, post in the comments. That's what we're here for. Yeah, so I think it's cool though, because your extensions, are they stackable?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's cool.
Yeah, they stack like big Lego blocks.
Right.
And of course, since every laser has got different mounts, different size feet and everything, I've got several different ones I've designed.
Yeah, that's very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I like that idea. You know, and I saw manufacturers now even starting to acknowledge makers and say like aftermarket accessories. Like I even saw like Steve, how you were saying it when you do the water cooled, how to route the lines actually inside of the what is that called? It looks like a big giant chain, but it protects the lines. What's that?
Drive chain.
The drive chain, yeah. But it's a pain in the ass to route those lines. And I saw these clips now that like clip into that have that actually are made for the 2 lines for the water cooled for the CNCs. And I saw manufacturers actually recommending this dude who was 3D printing them, which I thought was
that's like Rowdy Roman has those.
Yeah.
I looked at those and went, that looks kind of chintzy. So on my Onefinity Elite, I just ripped their skinny drag chain off and I built a bunch of new assembly to hold the bigger drag chain.
Right.
And I run the hoses inside the drag chain. It's a much neater design.
So in the Onefinity, did you keep the stock hoses, or did you?
Well, so a Onefinity normally uses something like a trim router,
right?
Or an air cooled spindle. But I have a liquid cooled spindle because I can run long jobs and liquid cooling just keeps the spindle a little more predictably cool.
So the water cool kit's an aftermarket, not affiliated with them?
No.
Okay.
No, nor was the spindle.
No.
It's a Huawei Wang. I forget.
But so correct me if I'm wrong. The biggest difference you're going to see with using the spindle, besides the noise, and using any type of router, is that you can adjust the RPMs within the software. That's really
within software control you can do you can control the spindle. Yeah.
So that's really the big difference. Besides,
there's a more significant difference. That one's cool, but more importantly, you can put a 1/2-inch collet in it and use 1/2-inch bits.
Right.
Whereas a trim router, 1/4 inch is all you're getting in there, right? So,
right.
Or an 1/8 if you have an 1/8 collet.
So you guys got any upcoming projects or anything that we should be aware of or be keeping a lookout for?
I'm refinishing our deck on our house, which has gotten to be just a giant pain. Because the lower deck, the one we generally have entertain on, is 16 foot by 36 foot. So pressure wash stripped it all today. I'm going to put the stain on tomorrow. So 3 gallons of stain and a lot of patience.
Roger, I was debating if I was going to start that if we had enough heat to let that dry. I'm right in the same boat as you.
Oh, it's supposed to be like 88 here tomorrow. Set a record. And
Friday was pretty hot, yeah. Terry said, I appreciate each of you. Very helpful. Soon I'm able to start a laser engraving channel as well. I hope to get a 60-watt fiber laser soon. Roger's shipping overseas is costly now.
Yes,
so Terry, if you're looking to get a 60-watt laser, I've been telling everybody you gotta send these guys an email.
Is that Pascal's address?
That's him. Hey, just so you see, I already had
send Pascal a message. I don't know. It's probably a year ago now.
Yeah, and Pascal, just so you know, I already had that built into our response when people asking about the lasers. Yeah. Bam, see that? I didn't even type it. It was already there.
So So I've been working on my cupboards in like all my new workshop area, After that, I have a couple of projects. So I did a packaging video just recently, a couple of weeks ago, and somebody actually wants to know about the sensor I used in that package in that video. It was really just about packaging that sensor, but now somebody wants to know how the sensor works. So I'll probably do a video on that. I don't know if there's like lots of people use Home Assistant for home control, so it's a really easy integration.
Yeah. So how many, Nikki, how many are you up to now?
I've done 175.
See, it's how repetition works.
Yeah. See, that's what I don't want to do.
So we have this
easy money. So I charge for these because they're only 12 ounce and it's a smaller logo. I charge $7 a tumbler for them. They supplied the tumblers. I don't buy them.
Yeah.
So when I do bulk orders, I'll send my customers to buy them and bring them back to me because I don't have a place to store them. And then that way, if they don't get here on time, it's the customer's fault, not mine.
now,
Yeah, I do the same thing for those kind of orders, but it's just, I don't know, anything over 100 is just too much for me.
Now, do you have an oops factor? Like, hey, you got to give me 5 oopses.
I normally at least I make them more. Normally they order by the case. Like these came from the Tipsy Magnolia. They came in cases of 50. So they only needed 190 of this size. So I had them buy 200 in the case. And basically they're either spares and I get to keep them, or they'll add a different logo to them for a different company or something like that.
Is this more from the same order from last night?
Yeah, Jason. I didn't finish last night. I went to bed after I got off your live because I had to be at work at 4 o'clock this morning.
So we had a talk last week, actually. We were talking about that when it comes to selling, are you into quantity or more of a higher in quality price? And I'm not saying that that's not quality, but more just of a higher price ticket item, right? And I don't think there's any right or wrong answer to that. It's just your market, or you know.
I would rather do like quality is important to me, but I like to do quantity items because I don't do a lot of consumer to business selling. I do mainly business to business. Like these, for instance, are for a boutique that took the order. She's making money off of it. I'm making money off of it. So I do more business to business, but I spend more time online doing influencing than I actually do anything else because I do work full time.
Yeah, most of what I do is business focused too, but different business, right? Like if I'm making a bunch of signs, I do some Lamacoid signs for some of the solar energy companies here. And that's pretty much put a big sheet of Lamacoid material in the laser, push a button, and go away. So I don't really have to do a whole lot. Whereas tumblers are very labor intensive.
They are, because you got to unpack, clean, you got to unpack them, take the lids off. If you got tumblers with handles, and depending on what you're engraving, you got to remove them. And of course, the prices go up with those different styles. Or if somebody wants 4 or 5 different style tumblers, even though it's the same logo, you still have to readjust your laser, and that takes time.
Yeah.
So you have to definitely price accordingly. And, for people that are just, I don't like doing onesies and twosies of tumblers. I do a lot of full wrap tumblers for my shows and all just to sell. And because I truly enjoy it, it's a satisfying thing to watch that seam come together on a full wrap tumbler.
So Roger does that.
Yeah, several. We do hundreds of them.
So what do you think about those? Like, I don't even know what the proper name is. It's like a chrome, and they're like 8 million colors. It almost
the chroma
like
bases.
Yeah, when you.
The rainbow base.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love them. I do quite a few of those. Those are some of the top sellers now, and they're coming out with other colors as well, more solid colors. So they've got like a black that engraves orange. It's got an orange chroma base under it. There's several different vendors that have these. Of course, most of them are all China made.
Yeah.
So
there's like pretty big vendors on Facebook that I know distribute that. They've been after me for a long time, and I'm like, hey, it's not that I'm telling you no. It's telling you like I have 2 rotaries behind me I haven't used yet. Let me actually try using it first before I decide to tell you that I'm going to tell someone about your cup. So it's on the.
I'm going to show you a custom order here we did for a place in Mexico. I got to be taking it with them when we go. But these are customized hydro tumblers.
Nice.
Sweet.
And then each person's name is at the top. And we just did a whole bunch of these. I'll be taking to Mexico with me for a particular bar down there. And this is all representative for Day of the Dead.
Very cool. I like it, Roger.
But generally, we don't do too many of the one-offs like that. I like doing like 25 of the same thing because it's quicker.
Nancy said, God is good because the customer event was postponed, so I have some more time. Or was it last week she was talking about? Remember all those layers she was making? She had a pretty big job with a ton of layers. Chris said, quality is objective. I see faults the customers will never notice unless pointed out.
Yeah, I think we're all in that category.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do a lot of memorial stuff. So I'm not saying every piece is perfect. You will see a flaw, they won't. But because it's a memorial piece, I think I just have a little more commitment to try to make it so that you couldn't find a flaw, right? Just because it's honoring someone who passed away. So I think I have a little more vested into it. And sometimes that actually is bad on my part because I put way too many hours. I'm not really charging enough, right? It's just, at that point, it's just being something I enjoy doing.
I bet
Nikki?
y'all. I turned my phone on silent, okay?
He's going, what?
I was actually talking to Pascal, sorry.
He says, nobody loves me. Corb said he was doing the same, checking his phone. Too funny. Too funny. Do you have one of its lasers? I know we had talked at one point. Did you end up getting it?
Yeah, I have a 60 watt MOPA fiber and I've got a 5 watt UV. And like I said, my next one, I'm going to get a 60 watt CO2 Galvo
Nice one.
from him as well.
So I remember when I told him, I was like, hey, we talked, and I was sitting here for, he's like, several people sent her to me. I'm like, calm down, buddy. I'm like, all right. Every time I sent the customer, several people sent it.
It's just so hard to keep up with. I mean, do you know how many messages he gets daily?
Yeah. No, he's pretty good. He normally replies. Just you got to remember that you're on a 13-hour difference in time frame, right? My wife sometimes, who are you talking to? I'm like, it's WeChat. Who do you think I'm talking to?
Right.
You want to see my phone? You know?
I know my husband says the same thing, but it's hard when you're doing things and you're talking to people all over the world because it's like, you know, there is no time. You can't set a cutoff time per se because at some point you've got to talk to these people, and if your days and nights are backwards, you still got to talk to them.
Yeah, 2 o'clock when I hear my phone go ding. Well, it sounded pretty good. It's like 11:30, 12 o'clock at night when they start messaging me.
Yeah.
Once in a while, 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, I already know who it is. I'm like, what's up?
See, I usually start work about 5:30 in the morning, so I can still talk to people in China, and then at the end of the day, I can talk to them again. So
yeah,
they've had a sleep in between, but
yeah. Well, Chris said, Nancy Richard, how long do you think it's going to take you to finish the rounds? I think she had, what was it, like a 300-piece order or something? It was a pretty big order. I don't remember.
The
Nancy.
cuts?
No, Nancy.
Oh.
Yeah, someone in the comments. She had a pretty big order. Corey, every time I mess her Dings, my wife says the same thing. Who is it? I always tell her it's my girlfriend. Yeah. Yeah, and then all of a sudden she sees a picture of Pascal, right? And it's like, what the fuck? Your girlfriend? My phone goes dark at 9:30 p.m. till 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Well,
That's a
mine goes
wise
on
move.
the charger, but the charger is not in my bedroom, so I do not hear anything.
Oh wow, you do
Yeah.
that? You're committed to that?
Oh,
I know a
yeah,
lot of people do that. They say don't put your room in your phone, that it's bad.
Yeah, mine is in here in my studio, and when I charge, I don't even have sound turned on my phone usually. So
no, mine sits in the kitchen on the charger at night. I go to bed. There's nothing up there but an alarm clock if I absolutely have to use it. But normally, I wake up every morning between 4:30 and 5, just automatic.
You know, so
yeah,
last
me
night
too.
I
Sadly,
woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, oh, I forgot to set my alarm. I set my alarm and I wake up at 5 every morning. 4:59, I go like this. You know, you're like, I want one more minute of sleep. Why do you do that?
a minute, man. I'd like about 3 more hours of sleep.
No. So I'm to me, 15 minutes can cost me 45 minutes driving to work because of traffic difference in the
Yeah.
tollway.
I don't miss that.
Yeah,
I don't miss it at all either.
Yeah, I'm still paying my dues.
Yeah, you
One
and
day,
me
one
both.
day.
You and me both. I got like I'll be like 80 when I retire. I'll have like 40
Me
years
too.
in.
Me too.
My workshop is across my driveway, so there's hardly ever traffic unless there's a UPS truck parked in there.
No, same with me. I just
Okay.
got to walk from the house to the shop.
Yeah.
So be honest. What did you think of my funny video about the Nano?
I got a kick out of that. I showed my wife that. She's always like, "What do you got now?" Or they left a box on the front porch. What do you get now?
It's
What is it?
it's definitely a true story, but it because you overdubbed it, it reminded me of like those Chinese movies or Japanese movies dubbed, like superhero movies dubbed to English. So
I had
the lips are doing this, but the words are saying something else.
Yeah, it's because a Mexican guy. The real video is this Mexican guy. He bought a towel cutting machine, and he walks into a room. And when you just look into the room, it's very obvious that it's a clean room. Not to be disrespectful, but they probably live in a studio apartment because it's like everything in one room. So they may not have a lot of money. And he bought this really nice towel cutting tool. And people are like myself, were taking his sound file and using him in the background. So it was not me. Because I even had some people saying, oh, you can't be truthful to your wife. You lied her on the price. I'm like, dude, it's a bit. It's a skit. Like, it's not really my voice. Like you said, Steve, if you really paid attention, I even yelled at one point, you look at my face, I'm like, what are you doing? Come down here. Like, come closer. I'm like, because it was my daughter, not even my wife, recording me from the stop porch. I'm like, come down here, come closer, to get the screenshot, the video coming down on the box.
Yeah.
So and I couldn't cut that part out. And I was like, and I already cut the box open, so it is what it is.
I really chuckled at it because it was just like the week before or so that you did that video that We Create showed up in my yard, and my husband was just fussing at me. He was like, you can't fit any more lasers in your 10x16 shop.
Right.
And then the We Create Vision showed up, and then I set it up, and then like a week later the new We Create Vista showed up. And I still have never talked to anybody at We Create. I still don't even know who's sending them for me.
I can probably give you a contact.
I mean, like, it was about 4 months ago I seen an email from them. And I, honestly, to be honest with you, I have no use for a diode laser. Because I have my CO2s, I have the galvos. I mean, what do I really need with a diode laser?
Right.
And I don't have the space for it. So, I just didn't respond to the email. And I guess they just decided they were going to send it to me anyway.
Yeah. Well, what do you say? Just because you sent it to me doesn't mean I'll do the review. Right?
Well,
like
and that's what and that's my thing is, I mean, I guess I looked at it more as a positive. I'm not obligated to anything because I didn't agree to anything.
Right.
So, and I did a video with the Vision. And like I said, for what it is, I'm impressed with it. It did what it should do.
I saw Roger's video on the Nano, and I was actually going to say, Steve said, one people don't understand is that we collaboratively do things together, right? And we're not a competition. And just because you made a video doesn't mean I'm mad that you made the video and I can't make the video. It doesn't. We don't work like that. Like there's a camaraderie here, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, my thing is the laser community is big enough. There's plenty of room for all of us out here, and so I don't care. I'll work with just about anybody as long as their morals meet my morals.
Yeah. So the point what I was saying is Roger said I was gonna make this video and I saw Roger like, I guess you beat me to the punch, but that we have this argument all the time: is laser engraving woodworking, right? People think it's not. But then you have Brad Irons and all kinds of people putting their logos into their work. Let's say you don't want to touch a laser. It's not your thing. It's not woodworking. Okay, fine. If you had a small Nano and you could just set it on there purely to put your logo on your work. That's it. You're still a woodworker.
Even if it's the only, even if it's the only thing you ever engrave, right? You can just go.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Pick it up, small, set it down. You're still a woodworker. You still made it. But
Yeah, it's not like you sacrifice something just because you put your logo on there with a laser.
Right. Are you?
It took like 25 seconds to put that logo on the back of that sign. And making the sign itself, I probably got half an hour in it. But we mark all the back of of our projects. In fact, I had somebody say you can't say that's a trademark because it has to be registered. I said, put your trademark or your logo or whatever in the description. Then I said, and my trademark is a registered trademark and has been since 1996. So our name of Moonshine Designs is trademark.
They say that the cheap way to copyright or trademark is to print it, date it, write it, and publish it somewhere on the internet so that it could be, and then mail it to yourself sealed and never open it. So if you ever had to go to court, you're going to say, the first time I used this name publicly was on Facebook at this time, you can prove it. And the first time I created this image was this in 1994. And when you go to court, the envelope's sealed, and guess what it is? It's stamped by the post office with a date. And they'll open it up and they'll see for themselves. I was told that's
it's pretty easy to register a trademark, though. Probably easier than mailing yourself a letter, really.
Yeah, well, it's as easy as getting a FEIN number. It's not hard.
Yeah. Nancy said, keep in mind, I'm still working a regular job, and it's only me and my husband doing the work. No, we understand. Trust me.
Yes, very much so.
Well, not Steve and Roger so much. So
no, I've done this.
Yeah.
I had to eventually quit work because it was getting in my way.
So I tell people all the time, if I wasn't as vested as I am, I've got 17 years federal service because I'm prior military as well. And if I wasn't as vested in the benefits that I have, I would probably definitely quit my job. But it's just not the logical thing to do.
Rotoboss said for you to send them that laser.
Right? I need you to make it work with your rotary, Jason.
There you go. Trade swap.
If he's collecting We Create Visions, I got a 40-watt one sitting on my
He said he will come to you. Look at that. He will come to you.
Yeah, well, he's not far, y'all. He's in Florida. But it does. I don't know. The Vista and the Vision do work on light burn. So I did try to plug my Rotoboss rotary into it. But it does not allow me to adjust the steps per rotation in light burn. I think it's the way their download file works with it. So, and I didn't play with it a whole lot, so I'm kind of curious to see if I can get it to work.
See, I told you about the magnet. Look, she came back. We were just talking about it. It's benefits for me. We have to work. Yeah. So I was a lineman for a long time, and then in our state, I went from working about 110 hours a week to like 25. So now I'm a senior project manager. I work only 40 hours, so I have a little more extra time. But I made about $100,000 less a year, so hence for doing this stuff, right? So yeah, but I don't know, man. I think we're going in for our economy's struggling, and I don't care where you are in that income bracket, everyone's feeling it.
Exactly.
And I know that the trades were kind of like a thing that like they're always gonna need us. You're always gonna have a job. It's always, but when things are state and federally funded, and when state and federal funding stops, like that hurts. So and then those don't come around for another 5 years. So we're in for 5 years struggling, and then things are back to the way they are. So
my day job consists of I contract all of the F-15 and C-130 parts for the Air Force.
nice.
And so that's my job daily, and which is very important. Them planes don't fly without parts. So I'm kind of vested there too because I have a passion for that.
So Rotoboss said that let him borrow your laser. Let him borrow, not keep, and he'll make it work.
Hey, I'm game because it would definitely open some doors.
That's cool, and then you'll be the first. Hey, you seen it here first, people. You seen it here first.
Well,
I
didn't see him say he would borrow it. It says
no.
let's
I'm
trade.
saying that. I'm saying borrow. I'm saying, but why would you give someone and say, "Yeah, I made it work and have it back"? No, man, I need it
for ongoing regression testing.
It works great. You can get back. No, why would I? It works great.
Because it does come with a rotary, but I'm just going to be real honest. It's like the probably crappiest rotary I have ever dealt with.
I will tend to agree on that because I played with the one on mine, and I didn't even make a video using it because
I put it in my video, but it's definitely not the best one, especially if you have a long like a water bottle or something. There's no way it's holding onto it properly.
So a lot of people are buying those Amazon tumbler holders for epoxy cups.
Yeah.
And putting them on there, and they are making like 3D jigs or something.
Yep.
And I got these little 2-ounce shot glass tumblers from the Tipsy Magnolias, so that's what I put on there because I knew that it would hold that. And it engraved nicely, and it actually didn't take that long. But if you could put a viable rotary in it, I would use it as an alternative. It'd be running 2 cups at a time, definitely.
Look at Clack. He said 357 days. He's that 357 days. Oh man, he's
it's actually less than that because he's going to sit in his workshop for the next 4 weeks.
Dave, but who's counting exactly?
I used to have on my whiteboard in my office. I used to have the count. It was just a number, and every once in a while, my boss would come in and ask me what it was. It's just a number.
Dave's son checking out.
Well, I had a countdown on my phone the last 90 days I was working, so. Of course, I only gave a 3-month notice I was going to retire, too.
Oh.
Much to the dismay of the company I was working for.
Get it, girl. Clack says,
He's
Chris
counting.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm only 45. Well, I'll be 45 this November. So I got some time. I still got to pay some
turned
bills.
40 in August, so.
All you young people.
Hey.
I can really say all you young people because I'm the oldest one here. I'm
you
67.
Are, yes. I'll give you that. I'm only 60.
Look at Steve. Yeah, you are.
I'm only 60.
Yeah. So
what most people don't understand is those of us like she was saying earlier that work full-time jobs and do this. This got a lot bigger than I expected it to, really quickly.
Yeah.
And I have 6 kids. I have 28 dogs. I have farm animals. We have 2 other businesses, and I work full time.
What do
My
they
life
say?
doesn't stop.
They say you quit a 40-hour job to work 115 hours for yourself.
Yes. And everything was nice and cozy when I was teleworking full time, but when they brought us back in the office 3 days a week, it kind of put a damper on staff.
Yep, I was at home too, and now I'm back Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's like, oh.
But I'm not gonna lie, like I enjoy going to the office sometimes because it's almost like vacation for me.
Yeah, I just get pissed going to the office because everyone wants to socialize. I'm like, dude, I'm not here to be your friend. I have work I actually have to do.
Yes.
Like,
That's what I tell them. I tell them that at work all the time. I'm like, you guys realize we get nothing done when we're in the office, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like a reunion every week.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they're like, you want to go to Twin Peaks? Do you want to go to coffee and tea? No, I don't want to go. And I don't understand how people can afford to go out to these lunches every day. Like, you know, like I am here with my little ham sandwich and my little bag of Doritos. And I'm like, I'm good, man. I'm good. I got my little 4th grader lunch. My wife said, you eat lunch like you're in 4th grade. I said, I don't care. I want the ham with the little dots of cheese in it. She was like, that is garbage. I got you deli meat. I told you I want the ham with the little dots of cheese in it. Just give me my ham and leave me alone.
No. I didn't even have a real physical office for the last probably 9 years of my career. I was a remote worker even before COVID made it a cool thing to do.
Yeah, so now we have to book a desk to say when we're coming in. And you'll literally go to book a desk and they'll say there's no desks available. And you go into the office and there's like 13 people in the parking lot. You're like, oh yeah, you really came into work. They just book it, don't show up. So it's kind of crazy. Retirement end is not at all cracked up to be. You'll stay busy.
Yeah,
I definitely stay busy.
Yeah, so do I. I actually work harder now than when I had a full-time job.
Yeah, same here.
Like to the point where I don't know how I squeezed in 40 or 50 hours a week.
Nancy said the only trap I get stuck in is between the pillows and sheets. My desk is about 15 feet from my bedroom.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll leave that one alone. I'm normally a wise ass, but I'm just going to go on to the next comment. Rotoboss, you're right. I was a workaholic at work. Now I'm retired and still putting in 10 hours, 12 hours lazy work. Keep busy.
Yeah, the difference is it's not a job now, right? It's you enjoy doing it.
Thanks, Jay. Hey, Rotoboss, if you do want to send me an email and be able to join us on live and maybe demonstrate some of your products, I think we'd be up for it. You guys, what do you think? Be cool?
Yeah, it'd be nice to see.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so send me an email where we can make that happen. Don't worry about Clack, just us. I'm not doing it to be free time. I'm just a free check. Gonna ramp up my business here after retirement, but have to check fall back on.
Yeah.
That's the other thing people tell me all the time. They're like, oh, if your side hustle is making so much money, why don't you quit your job? I'm like, dude, like, I don't think you know what I make. Like, I make a decent living. Like, I don't make $13 an hour. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, so I don't know. Plus, I like just having the extra money that I can spend it on whenever I want because I'm married, right? And I have kids and I feel obligated. And when I spend money on something that's just a splurge, I feel like, you know. So if I give you my whole check and it's going to the family and this come from doing this, I should be able to buy whatever I want, right? Because it's, you know, at least that's how I kind of feel.
Just set it up as a proper business and then it's all business money. It's not yours.
Working from home sucks too because you never leave work.
Yeah, you have to get into a process for that. Like I used to work from home and I had a separate office that I would literally close the door at night.
Yeah. Nancy, I have to travel twice as far for work. For my sheet's about 30 feet from my back door. Oh man, you guys are rubbing it in hard today.
Well, I think I'm about 50 feet from the house to the shop here.
I'm about 50 feet to the other end of my house, at least 50 feet, and then another 30 feet to the shop.
Here, I will share my email if you didn't catch it before. Please do me a favor and send me an email, and we'll make it happen. The good thing about government retirements, lifetime check, and I start draw at 50. Nice.
I work for the government, but I don't get a draw at 50. I want my full retirement. I'm going 67 and a half.
Wow. Here you can retire at, well, you can collect pension, federal pension at 60. So that's what I did.
Yeah, well, you know, our government likes to take as much as they want all the time.
Our government's broke, but we can send billions of dollars to every country in the world who never sends us a dime back when we're in trouble like we are right
Get
now.
them to send $1 billion to me, and I'll be happy.
Well, I retired at 62 after my wife figured out one night that I was working for 50 cents an hour. Between pension and Social Security, I was literally going to work for 50 cents an hour. So, oh, it's time.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
But it's fun work. It's fun work.
Yeah.
I do find when I get a mountain of hardware in my workshop that I have to review by a certain time, then it becomes a job, and then I get a bit cranky. But
Roy Boss says he retired at 38 and collect until I die. Set myself up not to need work, but I do it for a passion. That's nice.
I think Jason's prior military as well.
Nice. Thank you for serving our country. Looks like we got 15 minutes left in the live, so appreciate everyone joining us today. We definitely have some surprise guests, which is nice to see. And of course, it's Happy Hump Day. You know, some people just, of course, don't come with questions. They just come with comments. And because as we get geeky into these things, sometimes that's all we can talk to is people like us. So, so if you just want to shoot the shit and have a happy hump day with us, you're always welcome to come back and enjoy it with us. But if you do have questions, feel free to leave in the comments before we cut out on you. Clack says, attachment, same here, ready to be my own boss full time. That's definitely a great accomplishment for sure.
Yeah, Clack, the caution I will give you is that you as your own boss, you're probably going to be harder on you than your actual boss was.
Chris said, I quit a high-paying job to go work in a warehouse, worked out double the hourly rate.
Wow.
So it's nice, but it's not cracked up to all to be. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not there yet. I'll let you know in 20 years. Maybe 25.
They say that. Oh. They say once you retire, if you don't keep yourself busy, retirement's the fastest way to kill yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to think differently when you're retired for sure.
That's no way to talk about your wife. I'm telling you that right now. especially on Facebook and YouTube.
Oh, Jason.
See, I say the same thing. My boss is a hard ass. He makes me get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and start work.
Yeah. No, my boss is a dick. So.
Hi, Steven.
Yeah.
Thanks
he's
for
retiring.
that.
You know,
thanks for yet another boost here.
Wow, Steve, he's making it rain
again.
Always good to hear you. Thank you. Appreciate you joining. Yeah, good conversations today. Oh, here you go. What's a good question? If you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life.
That is absolutely correct. And while I'm putting in about 70 or 80 hours a week now, it's not work.
He said my wife has nothing to do with my business. It was a joke.
See, I'm trying to convince my wife.
She's really the boss.
I'm trying to convince my wife to quit work and become my business manager because I'm just terribly disorganized most of the time. So
yeah. Too funny. So what are you up to now, Nikki?
I got about 6 more cups to do.
Oh
Wow.
man.
Well,
almost
of
done.
this size, I probably got another 40 to do of another size.
So when do you call it?
I'll probably go to bed after I get off here with y'all and finish up tomorrow.
Yeah, there's a couple times, man. I've stayed up all night for big orders and went to work like.
Well, I'm in these are not a rush order. So she actually doesn't need them for like 2 weeks, but since I figure I'm on a live, I might as well sit here and work since I'm in the shop. So
Chris said a rotary. That's what she wants you to think, that she's not his boss.
Yeah.
She's not my boss. Okay.
Sure.
what is that TikTok video that says I don't do the cooking, I don't do the cleaning, and then they like take something from them and they're like, I do the cooking, I do the cleaning. My 4-year-old daughter somehow watched that. And she walks around telling me that all the time now.
Nancy said, if I could afford to quit my job and just do custom laser work and sublimation print, I would. I'm 53 and too many years until retirement.
Well, give it time, because this stuff tends to blow up really
Yeah,
quickly.
it could really snowball because I never intended to actually be in the business, but it happened.
Chris said, no joke. Could not tell you anything about your business. Yeah. Yeah. She's just like most bosses.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, see what I started now? Hopefully your wife doesn't watch your YouTube live.
Now you've got a gender war going, and it's not going to end well.
So Nikki, does your husband watch any of your YouTube stuff, social media stuff, any of that?
Yeah, sometimes, and sometimes you'll see him pop in and out of here. He usually is up here helping me with these cups, unpacking, helping me box. But he had surgery on Tuesday, so he's just not really feeling it.
Okay.
So my husband's my biggest supporter. He goes to my craft fairs with me. He definitely let me take over his construction trailer to put all my stuff in.
Nice.
So we're a team. It's definitely a team effort.
My wife is not interested in YouTube, social media at all.
Now, he doesn't do a lot of the social media stuff, but he'll go in there. You'll see him occasionally like something of mine, or, he shares my stuff on like his Facebook page, but I do most of the social media running of the business as far as that goes. I was just thinking about this. Are any of you guys going to LBX?
No.
So I'm going to be there representing Ocean Lasers, actually, with Pascal and VZ and all of them. So if any of your followers are going, come by and see us. We're going to have a lot of stuff going on there too. And that's in July of 2025.
Okay. Nancy said, I got the order through word of mouth. I'm going to build a good relationship with this customer. Remember, Nancy, every customer will bring you a customer.
Yeah. I don't know about you guys. I don't even advertise for anything.
I don't really. Of course, the stuff we sell on Etsy or in Amazon, that gets advertised through those channels, but otherwise we don't do any other kind of advertising.
Yeah. And you get to the point where you have to turn things away quite often because you can't take it on.
Clack said, luckily for me, lots of fishing in my other channel. I didn't know he had a fishing channel. Did you?
No.
No.
Huh?
What's that channel called, Clack? Is it like the Clack Boat?
Instead of Clack Shack, the Clack Boat. Fishing with Clack. LBX bound, they'll be there for Rotoboss and Apple air filtration system.
Yeah, so Jason also sells the filtration systems for Apple Air as well.
My husband is sandblasting and staining the door rounds. All my work is from word of mouth. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep, I get a lot of it that way.
Word of mouth. So I've never done work. I've never done marketing for local businesses. All word of mouth and repeat customers. Exactly. See, that's what you're saying. Customers will bring you customers, and influencers will bring you customers. Lots of customers. I don't advertise either. We advertise for you. See.
So you brought up influencers doing it. Is there a specific, like, how do you go about contacting influencers? How do you?
We are the influencers.
But I mean, like, for people who like, so you get all these TikTok famous people, and like I see people send them products, and they go out there and you get their little 10 minutes of fame or whatever.
So to me, the difference between like YouTube and TikTok, and YouTube's starting to do it. Like, I couldn't talk about it before because I could get banned from YouTube, but like I was on this board with YouTube where they're starting to interview you and ask you on features you want to ask, AI, all kinds of new tools they're going to be adding. They're starting to post it now. So you're going to be amazed by YouTube is going to start competing with TikTok, because if you want to become an influencer on TikTok, once you get a certain level, you literally click on it and it has a list of products, an automatic amount for the sale, an automatic commission amount, all pre-negotiated. And they send it to you for free. You click it, they already have your address and they mail it to you. YouTube's going to start doing that. Which, so like,
makes things a lot easier, actually.
So, and then the other thing is that in TikTok, you don't have to worry about, oh, you're spamming the comments and all that. No, because they built in the link. They do all the hyperlinks. They track all the stuff. So you also can't get cheated out of, how come I didn't get any commissions this month? Well, it's going through TikTok. It's not going through their link, and they're telling you what you supposedly sold. So you're going to see, you know, and then the whole thing too is like the difference between short-term and long-term content, right? Like YouTube's more of a long-term content and TikTok more of a short-term content. But now that TikTok's trying to do long-term, people are saying long-term on YouTube and TikTok, you may get a ton more views on TikTok because they're trying to promote long-term content. So there's tricks, you know, same video, how one will do better than the other. But I think that YouTube is going to start really connecting the dots with people trying to be an influencer with the manufacturer. You know, and then also the same thing with the all of our videos now. You can link from Walmart, Home Depot. You know, you do a video on a pressure washer, and you know 5 different companies sell it. You can link it now. You know, the Clack lease. The Clack lease.
Clack lease.
Is that anything to do with fishing, Clack lease? Is that something on, or just something made up?
That's his hunting and fishing channel.
I wasn't sure if it meant anything, but yeah, I'm not into affiliate links either. Like, okay, let me correct me. I'm not going to post affiliate links, something I haven't personally used. Not like, here it is, right? Now it's different if you're saying, hey, I did this review on this Nano. It's not going to cost you a dime. If you click on the link, you support me, you know, and then maybe I'll give you a $50 coupon. That's one thing. But those people who just like, what is it, merchant link? Certain websites that all they are is just affiliates. Like, post this. I'm not going to spam people's stuff. Like,
yeah.
You know what drives me crazy is in some of these groups you see Amazon links. They're just full of Amazon links, and you know it's just like, here, you know, here's a deal, go buy this. Here's a deal, go buy this. It's a laser group, and it's you're buying, you're showing stuff that's not even laser related. Just click the link and buy it.
Yeah, Clark, that's what I was talking about them coming out with those affiliate sales and all that. So I just couldn't talk about it before, like, because there was I signed a gag clause. I couldn't talk about it.
The infamous NDA.
Yes. But I was surprised that YouTube reached out to me. I mean, I know we're growing channels, but I just thought those type of things would be like Mr. Beast, you know, the big guys. So it was cool that they even considered me and paid me. Top off.
They probably did hit Mr. Beast up, but he's not representative of the bulk of YouTube, right? Like, the bulk of YouTube is 10 to 100,000 subscribers, and maybe 100 and anywhere from, I don't know, 30 to 150,000 views a month kind of deal.
Right.
And those are the people they want to target, right? Because first of all, you can spread a lot thinner, right? If it's Mr. Beast, he's your focus, right? So
right.
That's one channel, as opposed to 10,000 or 100,000 channels that are maybe smaller, but you get more coverage.
Yeah, so I was just very honored and thought it was so awesome. Like, it was a questionnaire and then a one-on-one chat. Like, they go live with you.
Yeah.
And ask you all these questions. It's like 2 hours. So I thought it was pretty cool they did that. And then, like, you instantly get a payment. Like, bing, there's your money. See you next week. Like, okay. Cool.
Yeah, I've done a few of their surveys for things, but
yeah,
I'm not rigorous about getting them done.
I just thought it was cool because you literally had feedback on like what you don't like about YouTube, what you like about YouTube, features you think they could improve on, features that you think they should add, and then like all these things that they're going to start. I'm going to get myself in trouble, but just there's some really cool stuff coming. That's all I can say. Yeah. Maybe in a couple weeks we'll share more, but some really cool stuff's coming. It's cool. And they're slowly leaking their own details. So looks like Clack started a third channel months ago. I checked it out. Does it have a black couch?
No, that's probably his hunting channel.
It's called a casting show. I thought it was a fishing channel. It said casting show until I saw the black couch. And I was like, oh. All right, guys, look, we're at time, 8:31, as my bad dad jokes come into play. But I just want to say thank you, everyone, for joining us on our live today. Appreciate you joining, and it's very happy to see our audience continue to grow and new faces come in and the same faces come back. You guys want to say anything on the close out?
Yeah, what I like is we get all kinds of other people who are YouTubers on here as well, which is neat.
Yeah, it's nice seeing the large assortment tonight.
Yeah, it seemed to be manufacturers and YouTube influencers, everybody. It's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Nikki, you want to say anything on before we head out?
I mean, I enjoyed it. I appreciate you guys having me on, and I appreciate the opportunity. I learn a lot from getting into different communities and seeing different perspectives. So it definitely adds, more knowledge to me as an influencer in the laser community on Facebook as well.
Make some space in your shop for a CNC, and we can talk about that.
Yeah, I'm just not sure that's going to happen. If y'all could see my shop right now, I literally have standing room.
Well, then you need to ask for a new shop.
Well, that's on my list. My husband is diligently working on that one for me.
I'm not talking about from your husband. I'm talking about $3.99.
I don't know.
They advertise on YouTube.
I know.
What do they say? Ask and you shall receive, but you can't receive if you don't ask.
You're right.
Hey guys, she's looking for a shop. Anybody have one of those pole barns, those little put-up shops? Let her know. That's what she's looking for.
That's right. Always. So.
All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate the live. God bless everyone who's in Florida. I hope you are safe. If you have family or friends as well.
We'll see you all next week.
Yeah. Take care, everyone.
Yeah.
Remember our laser giveaway is coming up.
Yes.
We'll announce a date soon.
Soon.